digital transformation in the automotive industry goes beyond car shopping. It paves the way for a dynamic, personalized, and lifelong customer journey. We are proud to see how our customers at Volvo have harnessed cutting-edge digital experience technology to align their platforms, with preferences of real-world buyers like yourselves achieving remarkable results in a very short span. In our final customer keynote of the day, we have Sunil Subramanian and Johanna Lundmark to highlight how moving away from monolithic technology empowered Volvo cars to actually achieve unparalleled agility, scalability, and seamless .com experience, all within a unified customer ecosystem spanning over 100 global markets. So please, let's welcome Sunil and Johanna to the ContentCon stage.
Hello, London. It's always a privilege to speak in ContentCon, and this time it's even more special to be in a city where tradition meets technology. Today, me with Johanna are going to talk about how Volvo is engineering the future of the automotive e-commerce and changing its digital landscape. Before I start talking, I want to quickly show you a video. Everyone knows Volvo stands for safety, but what does safety means for Volvo? Here's a quick sneak peek into a 1-minute video which says about what safety means to us. Right. Oh. Right, I think it's
Oh no.
a problem. Okay, well, let's try to fix that and show that at the end. But I'm going to quickly move on with the next slide. So the automotive industry is, sorry about that. I was always wondering, this time my mic was working, what's going to happen next? And then I see the video was not working this time. But nevertheless, challenges always happens in life, and we have to move across, and this is one such example. And today, I'm going to talk about how we are going to remain relevant for such an old company, which is close to 100 years, in a very dynamic changing market. The automotive industry is evolving rapidly with the new technologies, changing customer behavior, and shifting regulatory landscapes. So in order to stay relevant, we need to embrace innovation. We need to rethink how we engage with our customers and also to adapt to the new realities of mobility, sustainability, and connectivity. All right, and it's always a privilege to represent and talk about a brand which is existing for almost 100 years. We have grown tremendously since then, selling over 27 million cars so far. Our global revenue is around $37 billion USD last year, reflecting strong demand for our products as well as for the cars across the globe. And the most important thing is our commitment to safety, which has been the cornerstone of our identity. With our safety technologies, we have saved over 1 million lives so far globally, a true testament of how we take our mission so seriously, especially to protect the people on road. With that said, it's quite a challenging dynamic environment. So in order to stay relevant, we anchored our transformation on 6 core pillars, which guide us from everything we do, right from the products we build to the value we digitally deliver to our customer. The first one to start with is electrification. As you know, a lot of automotive car makers are moving towards their electrification journey. With 5 fully electric cars, which is already launched, and another 5 models that's still in development, electrification is one of the key pillar strategy for Volvo's product strategy. And by 2030, Volvo aims to have at least 80 to 90% of their cars either electric or plug-in hybrid in the essence, which means all the cars with a car. And technology is even moving beyond electrification. It's focusing on software, data, silicon, and connectivity. The second is going to be even more interesting. It's about how do we modernize our legacy system For a company which is nearly 100 years old, we have a lot of foundational systems which weren't designed for speed, scale, or agility. This means that we have to move from a monolithic to a modern, more modular API-first architecture, which can support our digital experience across all the 100 markets where we have the website. And a great example of that was our move to Contentstack, which helped us to significantly streamline and modernize our CMS. Moving on, I'm going to talk about the most important part, which is how do we deliver a world-class digital experience for our customer? For our customer, the car buying journey does not start at a retailer, it starts online. And the journey, unlike other e-commerce sites, it usually takes 8 to 12 weeks for them to decide and buy a car. And it's very crucial to keep them engaged during this time. This is what matters really the most. And how do we do that? Because when we do that, we also want to ensure that it reflects the premium experience of driving a Volvo whenever they're browsing the website. It needs to be fast, it needs to be elegant, it needs to be personalized, and also it needs to be seamless across all the devices and the channel. Here's one such example of an old man who is trying to book his test drive for the car he has. It's really important that the booking of a test drive happens with a whip of a second, and it's quite seamless, and he gets to do what he wants. So that's the essence of having a true premium world-class digital experience. Moving on, the fourth point is going to focus on connected digital ecosystem. Cars are software on wheels. Right from the software updates to diagnostics of the car, everything happens online. Content and commerce needs to seamlessly integrate with one another in this connected ecosystem. Here's one such example of where you can activate your performance mode in the car by clicking on a button in your mobile app, and within a second, you get a full throttle downloaded to your car through the over-the-air updates. So that's how the technology is evolving in the car. It's quite rapid, and the future is going to be even more interesting with what you can do with your car. And moving on with the next pillar, which is going to be on sustainability. Sustainability is not a marketing message. We want to definitely give a better world to the future generation. So it's embedded in our DNA in what we do. For Volvo cars, it's all about how we reach the net zero greenhouse gas emission by 2040. And 99% of all the waste that is produced in the factory is either recycled or reused. And 35% of all the recycled content is what you are going to see in the new model of the car. We definitely want to preserve the world for a better future. And moving on with the sixth pillar, which is going to be on, I don't know, there's a, yes, sorry. That's a problem with the clicker, yes. The sixth pillar is going to be on the brand evolution. We are completely redefining our brand from a traditional car company in order to be a tech-driven mobility company. This shift happens how we design our digital experience, how we engage with our customers at every touch point, how we share our story. And that's what makes it even more interesting, because no two customers are the same. And delivering a global brand experience also has its own challenge, because we are in 100 markets, we also need to cater to the local nuances in each of the market, and there's definitely a constant balancing act that we need to do. So we are building our tools and systems that let us to move faster while staying aligned with a unified brand voice. And now I'm done with the talking, I'm going to quickly show how does a customer journey look on a website for someone who is trying to buy the new ES90. As you can see here, the elegance and the premiumness of the website is reflected. It's a completely extension for the car. And this is a nice car which can drive around 435 miles with a single charge. And this is how the interior looks. As you can see, the premiumness is depicted everywhere. And thank you, Contentstack, for helping us with all this content and the dynamic showing of the content catering to the audience need. And the reason why we want to build the website in such a fashion is we need to provide the nudge to the customer at every touch point. So they are quite engaged to either book a test drive or buy the car. It's not easy to build such a website. There were, of course, a lot of challenges. And who better than Johanna to talk about the challenges and also about our migration journey. Over to you, Johanna. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So like Sunil mentioned, we quite quickly realized that this was something that we couldn't just do overnight. We are a company that's been around for almost 100 years, but we also have had the same CMS setup for almost a decade before coming onto Contentstack. So obviously, there was a lot of stuff that we needed to do in order to really become modern. So we embarked on then the journey to modernization together with the Contentstack. So what was the problem then? Why would we even want to change CMS? Because that's obviously a big task. We realized that there were 3 key parts that we really needed to nail in order to be truly successful. The first one was the costs. Having a legacy CMS came with a big price tag. Not only the licensing fees, but also the fees connected to just maintaining the systems and having the right people around to actually manage the system. The second one was that we needed to speed up time to market. With our legacy system, we had a lot of old tools, ways of working, and that really was cumbersome for the editors that was working in the system. It made us slow, and we couldn't really react in the same pace that we really wanted to. And the last part was about us needing to become more scalable and API-driven. The last CMS wasn't even headless, and that really became a problem for us because it couldn't really scale in the way that we wanted it to, and it wasn't as flexible as we needed it to be in order to have a world-class digital experience. And in the world of Volvo, that digital experience is truly global. As you see, we have a massive amount of content, and we have it live in over 100 markets. So when we decided to revamp our CMS offering, we realized that this is not just going to be us polishing a new system. This is going to be full digital transformation that we need to do in order to get all of this somewhere else. So last year in January, we set sail together with Contentstack, and we started our migration journey. We had to then build more of automated processes to make sure that we could actually do this migration because the volume of the content was so big. So we built the tooling. We had a quite straightforward process where we did a lift and shift operation from production to production over to Contentstack. And in parallel with this, we also really worked with all the teams that owned apps in the old legacy system and all the editors that were supposed to work in the CMS, because we realized that without them, it was going to be hard to make that change happen. And then, in only 9 months, we actually managed to migrate the whole entire thing with 2.5 million entries, 700,000 assets split over more than 30,000 pages. So yeah, I think that's some sort of record. I also want to stay a bit longer on the part about change management. I feel like we're a lot of people that have been talking about it here today. And this was something that we quickly realized was going to be key for us in order to actually succeed with the work that we wanted to do moving into the new CMS. So I wanted to just give you a short sneak peek, a look under the hood on what our organization looks like. And this is just built purely to scale well. So what we have is first the global product teams. They listen to the markets, they look at what new car models that are coming out, wherever it might be, and then they build digital experiences based on that. We then have global marketing and brand teams. They're responsible for making sure that we're populating these pages with the right assets, the right content, whatever should be in there. We also have market editors, and these are the folks that represent local markets, the editors that actually sit and work in that content. So they make sure that we have that relevance in any market that we go into. And then lastly, we have rollout teams. And these are the real superheroes. They own the master content and they orchestrate the entire go-live process to whatever channel it is that we're publishing to. That could be .com, mobile, in-car, in-store, you name it. So you can only imagine, before we had the headless CMS, we had to build all these processes for all of these different teams to make sure that they were fitting with the inflexibilities of the old legacy system. And that was really resulting in a lot of unnecessary steps, confusion, and we almost needed to manually control the system to make sure that the right content was being published at the right time. But thanks to the transitions that we did, we managed to kind of flip the tables and go from being team-dependent when it came to content management to instead tech-enabled. So now we have the tech as an empowerment tool for the different product teams and anyone working with this to really autonomously be able to build those digital experiences that are so important for us, and the ones that are really bringing our brand to life, the 100-year-old brand that we cherish and love so much. Because it's so important for us that anytime a customer, that could be a new customer or someone who's owned a Volvo for their entire life, comes into our universe, they want to recognize those typical, distinct design expressions that you might also recognize. We're talking about human centricity, safety, sustainability, Scandinavian design. And we want everyone to see that in any product that we launch. And that's quite interesting for us because as our fleet also grows, with our company growing, with more cars being launched, we need to produce more content, but we still need to get that same cohesiveness in anything that we do. So these are just 3 examples of recent things that we've been launching and been sharing officially. We have the ES90 that Sunil just showed you how it looks like online. That's a car that's actually starting production now in September, and you'll see it in the beginning of next year out on the roads. We have the XC70. That one, pre-order started in August. That was just a couple of weeks back. So that's also one of the new cars that we need to cater for online. And lastly, the EX60. I know we're among friends, but this is as much as we can show about that car. That's a completely new car coming out in January, but we're already showing maybe the outline of it, so you can use your imagination and see what it looks like. But yeah, all of these are just examples of how massive the productions are of working in the car industry. I mean, we have R&D, we have the car production, we have marketing, and then the digital experience is just one puzzle piece. But we really need to nail that one, and we can't afford not having that really serve as the thing that brings everything together and makes it cohesive for the customer that comes into our universe that I was talking about. And it's really thanks to how we've now set a digital strategy that focuses on having the right tech at the very core that we can do this, and at the same time still launch new features and cool things on the website in parallel with the entire car program. So coming back to those key points that I mentioned in the beginning and how I can speak so confidently about doing all these changes, we've actually been measuring this, and we've seen that we've had some really great results so far. If we start with the cost efficiency, we've managed to then lower our operating costs by only paying for what we actually use. So in short, just leveraging the composable commercial model as well. Secondly, we have shortened the time to market. I have a bunch of different stats here, but I think these are just some of our honorable mentions. One of the favorite ones of mine is that we've increased the number of publishing jobs per day by 117%, so that's super impressive. And that's also very much thanks to us using our own APIs that we can then build custom tools around, which is also something that comes from Contentstack being composable at its core. Lastly, we've also built now, finally, a headless setup with just mobile, scalable systems using those small building blocks and truly becoming flexible in the way that we wanted to. And these are all great results, but I know what you all are thinking. What about the users? Well, we have had overwhelmingly positive results from the users as well. This is a quote from one of our users saying that working with Contentstack is at least 10 times faster and 20 times more pleasant than working in the previous CMS. Contentstack is fast, modern, and it makes sense. And if that's not good enough for you, we are also tracking the Net Promoter Score on our user satisfaction. And we see that year on year, we've had a whopping 190% uplift in the NPS score among our users working with the CMS. Yeah. So we're super proud of those results, but that's not even the best part. There's still so much more to come. And already now we have some really exciting stuff on the roadmap. So I'm going to hand over to you to sum it all up, Sunil. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Johanna. To wrap things up, I'm going to talk about what's next for Volvo. So with our continued evolution of content management system, we are going to focus on 3 pillars. The first being personalized experience. As you know, that is the biggest focus for every company on earth now. It's one of the busiest words, like Gurdeep told today morning. Our biggest focus is going to be on how we can deliver this truly customized experience for our customer. No 2 customers are going to be the same. Every customers want them to be CAD, and it's all about delivering the right content at the right time at the right place to the customer. So it doesn't matter whether they are browsing the content in the phone or visiting a retailer or even configuring the dream car online. We want to be quite consistent to show the right content to them. And second is more about omni-channel. The omni-channel capabilities is quite important, especially with the complex landscape when it comes to an automotive industry, because the digital footprint is going to be far beyond the website. We also need supporting content that spans across marketing campaign, mobile apps, retailer store, in-car experience. And our omnichannel strategy needs to ensure consistency no matter which part the customer is interacting with our brand. And the third is more importantly about the smarter publishing. It's going to help the editors who are our first-hand customers. Our focus is enabling the editors to work more efficiently with tools so they can scale their work with smarter tools and streamline process. And this is really important because while we do this, we also need to ensure that we have the right governance and security. And with that said, I strongly believe that great technology should enable great human experience. In the end, digital transformation is not measured in the systems we modernize or upgrade or the pages we migrate. It's measured in seconds we save for an editor, the smoother buying journey for a customer, or the smile you put on the face of someone who is browsing for your brand for the first time. Everyone will agree today's world is getting more challenging. Synergies and partnership are quite important. They are the foundation for progress. Challenges cannot be solved in isolation. It takes trust, collaboration, and standing up for one another. Thank you, Contentstack, for being a part of this journey and for helping us shape the future. I'm very sure that the future is going to be exciting for all of us, and this is just going to be the beginning. Thank you all.
Thank you.